I'd do a video today on how to clean these dreaded Zadi locks, or whatever the hell they're called. You unlock them and this thing doesn't pop out, and that's because it's a rubbish design, and this happens all the time. They get covered in dirt. You put more WD-40 in to transport dirt, it gets stickier and it just sticks. When it gets wet, the plastic in here expands and then it won't pop out. They're a nightmare. So the first thing to do is you've got to undo this nut and take off this latch. Okay, so we got the nut off, we've taken the clasp off. That's all we do for the moment on this side. Front, turn this thing horizontal, and then we can get these two screws out. So the next bit is killer, because you've got to get this spring clip off. I'm guessing that the manufacturer had a tool to do this, but you won't have that tool. So the only way I found to get it off is with a really fine screwdriver, and you prise that bit up, and then you've got to get hold of a pair of pliers and try and get hold of that. You need about 6 bloody hands to do this. Get a pair of pliers in there, and then you've got to try and brute force it up and over the ridge. You will swear the first time you do this, you will take huge amounts of skin with it. It's killer. But once that's off, that's the hardest bit. The rest is dead easy. Okay. Pull that off and give this a clean. Okay, so we can wipe the inside of the casing here just to get all the gunk out. The next bit is where it gets a bit dirty. First thing to be careful about, there's a pin here that's loose in there, and that could drop out. Make sure you don't let that fall and get it lost. You'll be crying if you do that. Next thing is to pull this spring-loaded part out from this metal casing, and to do that you've got to push this retaining pin in. Push that guy in and then pull it out. Oh my God in heaven, look at the state of that in there. Okay, pull the spring out, and it's filthy, so it's time to start cleaning. There's a pin, this pin here pulls away. So the next step is to get the barrel out. So before you can remove this sliding clasp here, this, I don't even know what that is. That's a little latch thing. To get that out, first of all, you've got to remove the barrel. And to do that, you're going to need one of these these barrel removers. So you can get these on eBay for about £9. And what that'll do, just push that guy in, and then that releases this pin on the end that allows this barrel to come out. Filthy, of course, so give this a wipe down. You can now pull this latch out. Okay. Next job, which we'll do off camera, is to wipe everything down and get all the grease off. Okay, so we've now cleaned this collar, all the grease is out, nice and dry. This has all been wiped down, and our retaining pins, springs, all clean. So here you can see the design flaw. This collar and this sprocket don't fit properly, it's really tight. This sprocket is too big for this guy, and you can see it's already getting stuck there, and that needs to move up and down freely. for that spring to be able to push this plate back out. So, sandpaper, sprocket, elbow grease. Start sanding this bad boy down. I would go with a rough sandpaper and follow it with a finer grade just to smooth that off. And you keep doing that, sanding until this guy fits and moves up and down without any friction. Good luck. It's going to be a while. Okay, so sanded this down nice and smooth, and this now fits. It's got a bit more space to go in, so with a bit of luck, the spring back in, stays it. That's moving up and down without any resistance. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's reassemble. So I like to put a little bit of WD on there. Okay, next thing we do, locate your retaining pin. It can only go in one way. You've got the thin ridge there, that locates on the thin ridge there, and the thin retainer there. Pop that in. This metal pin goes back in there. Got your spring back in the collar, and now you've got to push that down so that it clicks back inside this runner. Okay, if you push it all the way down, that pin pops out. That's the lock position. Push your thumb in, that releases it. Okay, so the next bit is to push this back into the housing. Got to push it all the way down so that this ridge, whoops, this ridge here pops up high enough. That's because the next bit is killer again. You're going to try and put this retaining pin, this retaining spring clip back on. So let's give this a go. Okay, so we came off camera for that bit because you kind of have to lean into it, and obviously I didn't want to see this pair of pliers go through my hand, so I've done that off camera in case that happened. But anyway, brute force, you kind of hold it on and kind of pull it over. It takes a bit of effort, but eventually you can get the thing clicked down. Okay, that's good. So if you've got this turned and it's locked into the in position, you'll find that the barrel with the release key won't go flush. Doesn't matter where you turn it, it doesn't go flush. So you've got to take that out, find your original key. You've got to turn the key, and you'll find then it clicks down into, there you go, clicks flush. Okay, and then releases. We've got good bounce on there. Just give it a final clean up. Okay, time to reassemble on the van. Okay, so we're back at the van. Let's push this guy back in. So line up the holes, screw that back down. Let's go and do that off camera. Okay, so off camera, I just screwed the back plate back on. Make sure you got this guy in the right orientation, or refer to the one of the other doors. If you've got a double one here, you could look at the other latch and make sure you got it the right way around. Put this on vertical orientation. There we go. It's now locked into position. And that's it. You will lose a lot of skin. There will be swearing, but at least your latch pops out. Thanks very much. I'll have fun. 1 down, 6 to go.
As you breathe in the cold night air, strangers that pass as you stand and stare at